Hey right guys, Trishmunters Joe here, and today we are watching and reacting to episode 2 of The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Episode 1 finished it about 10 minutes ago and I really enjoyed it. I think the characters and the story are the two things I'm not super invested in, which is like the two things you need to be invested in, but I looked at it as like it's the first episode. The visuals and music were incredible, CGI really held up, and I am invested in the story enough. Mainly because it is a Lord of the Rings property, of course, but I'm invested enough to kind of see where the story goes. And yeah, I think the first episode did a good enough job for it to be an 8 out of 10 for me. And I'm hoping episode 2 can top that. So yeah, episode 2, guys, if you enjoy, remember to leave a like. If you're new, remember to subscribe. And if you do want the uncut reactions to Rings of Power, then link to the Patreon page will be in the description. And one of the comments down below. And like I say, make sure you subscribe because we'll be doing a reaction to Rings of Power every single week for the entire season, and we have House of the Dragon as well, so it's a good time to be getting into new shows because 2 big ones back to back is what we like. So yeah, episode 2, guys, let's do this. Oh, we get an intro. Here we go, the Rings of Power intro. The main title theme is by Howard Shore. That's cool. The dog Sansa here. The eye. I wonder if that'll be an intro that changes. Not each ep, but maybe a lot of shows that kind of change the intro a little bit. So like maybe the sands get darker and darker as it goes on. Because it's all a little bit there, but I don't think it was enough for it to be like. We'll see. Nope. No. I ain't gonna be stranded in open water like that. No, you're having a laugh.
Nori!
Bloody hell.
You shouldn't sneak up on folk like that. You shouldn't be.
Yeah, great job, guys. You just.
Nori, don't.
No, shut up a sec, bro. Oh my god, she clearly is going to. Wow. I mean, you've stepped in it now. Also, do you like my mug? So let me get a close up. We got the orc that says it. You know what he says. Barley. Custom made. Looks like tea is back on the menu, boys. Custom made.
Or an elf, or some baby eagle with a broken wing. That was one time. He's something else.
Okay, you say that, but you're carrying him anyway. You are helping, so you might as well get on with it.
That we helped a stranger, and anything bad that happens the next 3 seasons will be our fault. If the fog lasts a little too long, we'll get stuck in a rut. Go, quick, go!
Well, I think he's dead. Oh, we're just cutting past the scene where he clearly broke his neck then.
What does a giant eat anyway? It's not Harfoot's. Just the ones that can't keep a secret.
McDonald's. Get him a McDonald's. He'll be up and ready to go within minutes. 100%.
Perhaps.
That looks really fake. What was that? Was that meant to be a sheep? Look, a teddy bear. Yeah, we got this CGI. We got a teddy bear sheep. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. How have you made that look realistic?
Have you considered seeking partners outside the confines of our own race?
How far outside?
Dwarves. Khazad-dûm. Yes. The Balrog's chills there later.
Almost like a brother to me. I've heard the dwarves have greatly expanded their halls of late.
The lip sync was well off then.
He'll welcome us with open arms.
He definitely will
Ram's
not.
horns blurry. We seek an audience with Prince DURIN.
Yo, he looks sick. Oh, there you go.
I invoke the right of Sigyn Tarag.
What is the right?
What's that bloody right? Oh, well, I think it's a cheat code, mate. Here we go. Oh, it looks way more nutritious than when we saw it. Yeah, this place, I guess, was popping back in the day. That's it. It's the music that sells this so far. Here he is, rolling on up.
He will
shall be banished from all dwarven lands. Forever!
Oh, they like that.
Elf, understand.
The elf does.
Ooh.
But should he lose?
Banished. Yes. Understood.
Oh, alright. Let him show off. That horn is excessive and I love it. What are they gonna do? Like sculpt, I don't know, whoever sculpts the best sculpture? Or is it just whoever smashes the rock? Yeah, he's had you on that one. Okay, we're not sculpting. Okay. I could do that easy. One-handed. You don't know you! Why would he care it's you?
How about this then? I won't harm you.
On Nicolas Cage?
You won't harm me. Suppose you did fall quite a long way. Anybody's head would be a bit higgledy-piggledy.
Higgledy-piggledy wiggledy, what?
Berries, pig berries. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's
Pig berry.
hilarious. Don't do it, that is not food, mate. That is torture. It's torture. Go hunt for your own food. That... You tramp. I'm not even surprised. Licking her lips and fingers like it was the best meal she's had in... What? Oh no, I'm starving to death. I ain't having that. That's even worse. He just ate the shell.
Is it some sort of map?
If that's a map, I think that's about to snap. Hey, unlucky. Yo, he's struggling. Oh, that's unfortunate. Bad things are starting to happen. Because you brought him here, Nicolas Cage.
Nori. It's your father.
Your father's broke his legs, he'll never walk again.
How bad is it?
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
You saw him. Wouldn't put the weight of a leaf on that leg, much less pull a cart.
Mind your own fire, Malva.
Oh, you've been told. You should just shut yourself. Oh yeah, Galadriel's still swimming. Someone's gonna pop up and eat her. Yup. See, this is why you don't swim in the ocean. They look pretty abandoned.
Tides of fate are flowing.
Well, if no one else will.
Yours may be heading in. Or out.
Cool. Well,
Don't let her on.
don't let her on. Well, knobheads. What's the problem? It's not like you got any food to share. Okay, I guess they do have water to share though. Oh, I think she has some trauma. The worm.
An elf?
Bloody hell!
You liar.
What? When did she lie?
Corsairs prowl these waters. Do you want to be skinned alive?
That'd be something. Imagine how dark this show would get all of a sudden.
Worm.
Oh, is that the worm? Well, I could fight that easy. No. No. I'm good. And I just said I could. Okay.
Let it right to us.
Wrecked! She's gonna kill it, and they're all gonna be super impressed. Oh, never mind, they've all just... Serves them right, no offence. I love that. I love that they all got gobbled up and eaten. So everyone died but him. He did have like main character vibes, didn't he? Nice. So it's just whoever can keep going, I guess. Is this where it fails? Oh. I mean, that was the hammer. Your weak-ass hammer. That has nothing to do with him. The hammer broke. Okay. Fair enough. Giving him another shot. Come on, Elrond, my boy. He's given up. He didn't even try.
The dog may bark at the moon, but he cannot bring it down.
I mean, one way to get your point across. That's the first bit of bad CGI I've seen. There we go. I was waiting for it. I was like, there's going to be one. There's going to be one shot that looks bad. And that is the one.
Journeyed here to see my friend whom I've greatly missed.
Missed!
You
missed my wedding.
No. Oh, well, there you go.
For my children, 2 of them.
Yo, I'm with this guy then.
You cannot barge into my mountain and demand I welcome you with open arms.
Got him. He has a point, Elrond.
But I've lived an entire life in that time.
Yeah, 20 years. I said, for them, that's like 2 months. He has a point. I can see why he's a bit upset about that, actually. I thought he was just being salty for the sake of it, because dwarves sometimes are.
Congratulations.
That's a bit late. He got married probably 15 years ago, mate.
I would like very much to apologize to your family as well.
That's probably a good idea. Oh, yeah, mate.
Apologies to Disa and your all.
I like this guy.
No, getting better.
I should probably clarify. When I said dwarves, I meant dwarves specifically in Lord of the Rings. That sounded like I just meant dwarves in general.
Cannot be Elrond, can it?
I fear
Her
so,
eyes.
fair lady.
And her hair.
It is a beautiful tradition.
Back to reality.
But she was a moon-eyed girl in love from the moment we met.
At least you're going to start having sex on the table.
Very symbol of our people's strength and vitality.
Some called him a fool for believing it would grow in such darkness.
Hey, he's done a good job for
It's
it.
never truly
Sick.
dark. How could it not grow in a home like yours?
Got him. Way with words, Elrond.
DURIN.
She's pissed.
Sorry, sit down.
It always works when you do the whole dramatic walking away. There you go. I'd say they're the best combo of characters so far, Elrond and DURIN.
So readily abandoned his companions to death.
Did you see them?
It was orcs.
Oh, okay. Did you say orcs?
Is that the mark of your people's king?
My people have no king.
But if they did, where
Yet.
might that kingdom be found?
To what end?
The army to me. Why are you dodging the question?
Why are you stranded at sea?
Got him.
Even to speak the names of those they've taken from me. So letting it fly is not an option.
Oh, she says that, but we don't even really know who he took, just like her brother. I think maybe they could have spent a bit more time with her brother. Maybe. Because then you get more invested in her journey. But we know nothing. He just had one conversation with her. I think he could have got away with like another 15 minutes of before he died. It'd have been a bit slower, but I don't know. At least you would have felt her pain a bit more, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, the entire village was empty. It was as if the ground had swallowed up the people of Odin like flies.
You're chatting waffle. Bet that happens.
I've seen landslides less dangerous than a wayward tongue without proof or pudding.
What?
That's all it'd be.
Yeah, she's just going to take a photo on her iPhone. What you on about? We'll get him to go see for himself, but he ain't getting far.
Bloody mice.
I don't think that's a mouse, though, is it? Alright, well, someone's got anger issues, is what I'd say about that. Oh, you're dead. Whoa! I mean, that was pretty spooky. I'd be spooked. Ooh, I like that. Get a bit of a horror scene going on. Yeah. Mate, get gone. Oh, it ain't that small. Okay, no, it kind of does look small there. Yeah, well, that doesn't end, though. Oh, we know what happens here from the trailer. Unfortunately. Behind you. Yep, there they are. Oh, is the son dead? I hope so. Mum. This mate, maybe now you can stop whinging.
Get help. Go.
I mean, she tried. No one cares, apparently. He ditched her. Like, really, bye, Mum. See you later. Why didn't you just go? What? I mean, she will be leaving her son behind, so. Ooh. Like Pan's Labyrinth. Oh, it's got a hairy tongue. Oh, is it an orc? Is it just an orc? Oh, practical effect. I love it. Imagine if they did CGI for this scene. Ooh. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. That's not good, because now it knows where you are. Boom. Okay. Wasn't that bad. We're alright, we're alright. What are you doing, bro? Oh, okay, he wants to die then. Oh. Okay. Oh my god! Wrecked! Yo, this ult's pretty OP. Well, I'll say that, and it's not OP in terms of brains. Oh, nice. I don't know how you managed that one. It was a good. That was a good attempt. I'll give him that. He's like, bro. She got shit done. She's a better character than Galadriel so far, I'll give her that. Wow. Fairs.
You serve to me! Come on!
climb yourself. He's right next to you. Just get up. Okay. How have you managed that? He's going to go down for her, I don't even know if she managed that one. Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to see him coming down. I mean, that is a cool shot. I do like that shot. Ugh, the hobbits. Hobbits are the worst part so far, for sure. I do not care for these hobbits. But they'll have importance, I'm sure, so I'm just waiting to get invested.
It's a lantern.
Is it? Okay.
We'll use fireflies.
I'll say that about this show so far. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but it really makes me appreciate that the Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, was made when it was. Because I think if the Lord of the Rings came out in 2022, the 3 films that we had, they wouldn't be my favourite films of all time, I don't think. They'll say that. I'm so happy they came out in like the early 2000s.
He wants us to help him find those stars.
Okay, well, should we care though? Oh, the Firefly just died. And they're all dead. Okay, well that's... We keep getting these signs that dark is coming.
I'll surely break.
What are we going here then? Big ending to the app. Show me. Is our first ring? Maybe. Let me peep over the top of the... Oh! Ooh. Don't let that blood touch it, mate. You're just gonna let it do it, aren't you? Good job. That's a sick weapon, though. As we know.
You ready?
Ooh.
Yes, Mother.
Ooh, marching out.
I'm ready.
Yeah, don't take that blade with you, though, which he definitely has. The music slaps. You spent a whole episode getting back to Middle-earth. It's not even back yet. Next problem. I just pretend to sleep. I can't be dealing with this today. I've had enough drama for one day. Alright, there we go, guys. That is episode 2 of Rings of Power, or The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Season 1. Yeah, and another pretty good episode, I'd say. I'd say my only thing I'm not really invested in is the hobbits and them trying to help this giant. I'm sure that's going to have relevancy. Well, obviously I'd be very confused if it didn't. Throughout the season. There's only 8 episodes, by the way. I think I said there was 10, but there's only 8. So I'm not worried about it, but I will say every time it cut to the hobbits, that's when I'm the most uninterested in the show. For both episodes, that is. I think every time the hobbits have been the weakest parts of both episodes. I don't find any of the characters interesting, and I don't find the story in terms of helping this giant find his way home or trying to look after him. That's the least interesting story to me. So that aside, everything else was pretty good this episode. Again, cinematography and music. I'm pretty sure we can say that for every episode, but I will say, I'm going to assume we're going to say the CGI, cinematography and music is incredible in every single one of these episodes. However, I'm still going to continue to say it because it was really good. And I felt we had more standout scenes this episode in terms of like the worm in the water. Thought that was pretty cool. Galadriel making her way back to Middle-earth. And then I don't know his name again, but the elf going down into the tunnels. We kind of had a bit of a horror vibe with hands everywhere and down in the dark and a bit of claustrophobia. And him being pulled back at the end, which we knew from the trailer, unfortunately, but... yeah, that was a pretty good scene as well. We didn't have as much of him in this episode as we did in episode 1, but I liked the scene of him being in the tunnels. Got our first look at an orc, like our proper look at it, kind of flopped and got destroyed by those 2 characters, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, again, I'm just glad they've gone back a practical look with the orcs. It looks so much better. That orc there looked better than 95% of the orcs that they threw out in the Hobbit trilogy. 100%, because practical effects have just always been better. So yeah, I'm glad about that. So that was a pretty good scene. Also, I'd say the standouts for me were Elrond and DURIN, I think his name is. I'm not really sure. The Dwarf King. I liked the scene of, even though it's like the worst CGI that I've had so far of them going up the elevator, but I like that, you know, you're kind of curious, is a dwarf just being salty for the sake of it? Because like I said, they typically are in the Lord of the Rings. So it would have made sense if he was just being salty for the sake of it, and no, he actually has a good reason. Like I said, 20 years for Elrond is nothing. That's like maybe 2 months. It's nothing, but for him, that's That's a lot of his life. That's like a quarter of his life gone, if not a third. So, yeah, you kind of agree and kind of see where it's coming from, that he missed the birth of his children and his wedding as well. I think that was one of the better scenes that the show has had out of its 2 episodes so far. I will say I won't say he got over it quickly, because he was still pretty salty at the dinner table, but I thought he had originally. I was like, oh, come on. He could have lingered on that a bit more, but it seems like they're going to. And yeah, I feel like him and Elrond could have quite a good pairing throughout this season based on this episode. I need more, of course. I won't say I'm like invested in their friendship just yet, but I think it's been a good start to it with this episode. So yeah, I'd say Elrond is definitely the most interesting. I think the elf down in the tunnels definitely has potential. I like the mum character who killed the orc. I think she seems cool. Galadriel, I need way more of. I'm not convinced on her just yet. And I don't care for any of the hobbits. So, yeah, there's some ups and downs so far with these 2 episodes. Like, I've made very clear what the very strong points of this show are. But there are some things that, for me, I'm just not 100% sold on just yet. I don't think this is as bad as some people were making it. The reviews came in for the show yesterday, and some people were shitting on it based on the first 2 episodes. Obviously, they haven't seen the entirety of the season, but saying how bad the first 2 episodes were. And no, these 2 episodes were not even close to being considered bad. And I was going into this very cautious anyway, based on the trailers and based on that it's Amazon. I mean, I'd rather it be Amazon than Netflix, because Netflix destroy everything they touch. So I'd rather that, which is good. And Amazon's been smashing it with like The Boys and stuff as well. So I'm not too fussed about that. I just think there was something in the air about this show that I wasn't 100% sold on. And I'm not sold on it yet with these 2 episodes, honestly. But again, I adore The Lord of the Rings, so my hopes for the show while I have been cautious with it, my hopes for it have always been high. Like, I want this to be one of the best shows ever. But I'm not going to say it's one of the best shows ever just because it's The Lord of the Rings. If anything, you've got more of a... There's a bar that is so high. It's like the highest bar ever when it comes to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And like I said in the reaction, I'm just so... One thing about watching this show, it just makes me so happy that that trilogy came out when it did in the early 2000s, because I think if that trilogy came out now, it just has like some grit and grime about those films that like everyone involved got their hands dirty making those films. And I'm not saying here it seems like they haven't done that, because I'm sure they've been worked to the bone to make this, don't get me wrong, but it's just something about that film trilogy that just makes you think like they went for it and you could not do that now. They wouldn't be done like that now. It'd be all like 4K'd up and polished and looking beautiful, and some about all the it makes me want to watch that trilogy if anything. But this episode, I'd probably give this one an 8 as well. So 2 very strong ratings, I would say. I might change both of those to a high 7 on rewatch, because I'm going to rewatch both of these 2 episodes before episode 3. I want to watch them on like the big screen in the living room, so I will be doing that, and they might change, because I am considering a high 7. Actually, I am going to do that. I think at 1 I'm going to stick with an 8, but that's solely because it was the first episode, so I was a bit more lenient. Here, I'm going to go a 7.8 out of 10. I think a high 7 sounds about right for this. It did have some good scenes, but for me, it's still the characters and story at the moment that I'm just not there with yet. So... Like I said, it's easy to compare to House of the Dragon just because House of the Dragon is airing at the same time. We've had 2 episodes of this and 2 episodes of that, and they're both fantasy. And for me, House of the Dragon, those characters are way stronger than this at the moment. So, even House of the Dragon aside, like, The Boys, you could compare to as another show that I've just finished season 1 of. Like, 2 episodes after that show, I was way more invested in the story, of the characters in that show than this. So I think that, like I said, the characters with the most potential are Elrond, the elf, and maybe the dwarf. We'll see. But yeah, 7.8 out of 10 for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the episode down below in the comments. And Patreon will be linked down below if you want to join over on there. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so, as we'll be reacting to, I think it's 1 a week now. We had 2 today, obviously, and then one a week for the next 6 weeks, which I like. I'm glad we're getting one a week instead of all of it in one go. So, yeah, I'll see you next week for episode 3. Until then, take care. Peace.